MRT Jakarta can be survive. So based on that, we develop the business beyond normal. We call that there is a three pillar. First, network operator and network provider. Second, urban platformer, and then third, city regenerator. For the network provider, we would like to expand our network on the future lines. Not only that, we also develop in other cities in Indonesia, not only in Jakarta. And then for the urban platformer, we accelerate the digital and application capability for the company transformation. We need to sustain, we need to survive, we need to make our operation and maintenance more efficient and effective. And then the third one, city regenerator, the transport integration and TOD development. This is the one that make MRT can be the game changer for the Jakarta city. Next. We talk about the digital initiative in operation and maintenance. In MRT, there are 5 directorates. All of the directors all have their own digital initiative, but I would like to focus on the operation and maintenance directorate initiative. So based on the MRT digital transformation and then our OM roadmap 2030, plus we have the online discussion. We develop our and then we conduct the roadshow, all the directorate, and then we develop also the dedicated department, ITIFC department, to guide and then to maintain this program. And then finally, we have the OM digital initiative. Start in 2021, we have 20 initiative, and then in 2022, we have 15 initiative, digital initiative. This is all to make MRT Jakarta to be sustained and then survive. And then, of course, we would like to be more efficient and more effective from time to time. And then we have to follow the technology. Next. This is the some of example that our digital initiative. This is for the maintenance. Before we have to do the like a visual inspection by doing walking and maybe climbing using the scaffolding. Nowadays, for the inspection in the box girder, in the high position and then bearing pad station, we use the drone. By using this drone, we can save a lot of time, a lot of cost, and then a lot of the energy, also especially for the manpower. So we can monitor real time. And then the other one, there is for the service in the station, you can see that robot surveillance for the station management. This is to help our people to minimize number of station staff work in the station. In the future, while adding more the station, we will not add the number of the station staff linearly. So we'll add only a minimum percentage of the station staff. This robot surveillance will help the passenger and then a station inspection. So this is, we will have the even the real-time situation we can monitor in one room. So this robot can save a lot of time, can make our operation and maintenance in the station more efficient and effective. Next. Now we already implement we use the DINA, we call DINA Digital Intelligence Assistant. Ini sistem ini akan membantu teman-teman kita yang berkebutuhan khusus. Ini ada foto diresmikan oleh Pak Gubernur, oleh Pak Dirut yang terdahulu, Pak William Sabandar. Ini sangat membantu teman-teman berkebutuhan khusus. Tetapi dengan berjalannya waktu ternyata kami bisa gunakan juga untuk semua pengguna MRT, tidak hanya teman-teman berkebutuhan khusus. Fungsi dari ini adalah first, enhance comfort for the special needs, and then minimizing security and safety issues, because before some security and safety issues we found, and then fulfillment of minimum service standard from regulation. We have to comply with the government regulation. We call standard level agreement, and then communications needs, both audio phone and visual text that are accommodated in one facility. New features ke depan kita akan menjadikan passenger media assistant, virtual ticket purchasing. Jadi orang-orang bisa beli tiket juga untuk membantu chatbot dan FAQ features. Dan ini terus akan dikembangkan terus, banyak hal-hal lain yang ini produk ini buatan teman-teman MRT, perlu dibanggakan. Ini hasil karya anak-anak MRT, bukan kami beli dari luar. Jadi memang kami desain sesuai dengan yang kami butuhkan dan dikerjakan oleh teman-teman MRT. Ini made in Indonesia. Ya, next.
Pak Effendi izin mengingatkan sisa waktu 2 menit lagi ya Pak.
Yep, baik.
Terima kasih.
Oke, next ini ada application dari MRT yang kita buat, ada kita sebut General MRT. Ini ada digital screen for the passenger, bisa dilihat di stasiun untuk service center information. Jadi mulai if you want to know about departure train information, line and fares, station point, so all information about the station you can see, and our service you can see from this General MRT. Next. And then this is another enhanced and increasing ridership program. We provide a mobile application which also cater passenger lifestyle beyond MRT journey. So this is not only you can buy the ticket, but you can get the entertainment. Like you stay in, you get in the 5-star airlines like Singapore Airlines or Qatar Airlines. So in MRT Jakarta we provide a similar one. And then this also you can use for your ticket requirement. Yeah, next. Yeah, ini this is another one, mobile and web-based train management system. This is to support our operation activity. This is very important to ensure that our operation with minimum human error. You can see on the left side mobile trams. This is our team can use the mobile phone for the sign on, sign off barcode, and then train driver schedule, train driver report, and so on. And then the other side, you can see the web-based tram feature. This is we can see the cabin ride approval, logbook, so all this information for the train activity. And in the future, we can help other train operator in Indonesia, even in ASEAN, to share what we have in MRT Jakarta for the digital program. And then there are still many other digital initiatives that we are doing now to ensure that our operation and maintenance will be survive, will be sustained, and then will be more efficient, and then compete with the international railway operator. Thank you very much. That's all. Bu Anissa, again, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ini saya tidak sabar untuk mengomentari, terutama salah satu kesukaan saya tadi adalah yang DINA itu ya Pak ya, karena saya rasa ini benar-benar memberikan layanan bagi teman-teman difabel. Tapi sebelum nanti kita akan membuka diskusi, kalau ada peserta yang sudah ingin menuliskan pertanyaan terkait dengan pemaparan dari Pak Effendi tadi, silakan langsung saja dituliskan teman-teman di kolom chat. Dituliskan namanya, nama peserta siapa, kemudian pertanyaan ditujukan kepada siapa, karena selain Pak Effendi, setelah ini kita akan ada Bapak Nelson, nanti dituliskan pertanyaannya seperti apa. Akan saya bacakan setelah pemaparan dari Mr. Nelson selesai. Ditahan dulu jawabannya ya Pak Effendi ya. Nanti kita akan lihat bagaimana reaksi dari para peserta pada pagi hari ini. Thank you very much, Mr. Effendi, for the explanation for today. I think it's very insightful, and I'm eager to hear what Mr. Nelson can share with us this morning. Mr. Nelson, good morning.
Good morning, Elisa. Yeah, can you hear me clearly? Yeah.
Yes. Yes, clearly. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, Mr. Nelson, from Hong Kong. So, Mr. Nelson, I'm aware that you're going to talk about the sustainable railway system. I think the expectations here for MRT Jakarta could become one of the world-class operator. So that's why I would like to hear and learn from MTR Hong Kong, from what you've been doing in Hong Kong. So, what will you talk more about sustainable railway system today? I think we would like to hear how important is this to have a sustainable railway system in the rail industry business, how it can be implemented in especially in Jakarta, MRT Jakarta. Mr. Nelson.
Sure, yeah. Let me try to share my screen so that
of course.
Yeah, you can see my slide. Okay. Can you see it?
Yes, it is on screen right now.
Okay. Okay, good morning, Mr. Epelindi, Mr. Kensong, and Mr. Effendi, and other distinguished speakers and fellow Jakarta MRT colleagues. Good morning. It is my honor and actually the greatest pleasure to share with you MTR's journey as a world-class railway operator and how we keep forward sustainably.
I would like to apologize. I would like to apologize, Mr. Nelson. I think I have to remind all the participants once again to mute the microphone during this webinar. Mohon kerjasamanya para peserta. You can continue, Mr. Nelson.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Let me start with introducing you some background about MTR. Yeah. Jakarta MRT is relatively very young. Started in 2019, and MTR has quite a long history. And we start our first line in 1979. That means we're 43 years old already. Much more matured railway network relatively. And currently we are carrying 4.3 million passengers per day. 4.3 million passengers per day, which is around 75% of our peak patronage before the COVID-19. Now we have 12 lines, 12 depots, and 99 stations in our network. That includes both heavy rail metro, light rail, and also high-speed rail going to mainland China. And you can look at the bottom part, actually. Our train fleet includes trains coming from different parts of the world, mainland China, UK, Europe, Japan, Korea, and Europe. Yeah, so we manage all kinds of trains coming at different times. But in the middle is our oldest train. Our target as a life is around 35 years beforehand. And now, based on our asset management measures, we are maintaining it running rail to 45 years old. This is our plan. Yeah. In the Hong Kong transport services, our goal is to keep cities moving forward in a sustainable manner. Thereby, we can contribute to a smart city development in Hong Kong. And we have 5 foresight to make sure our customer-centric service and also to engage our community, including the social inclusions activities. And internally, we build up the competence of our people, nurture a safety first and an innovation and technology culture. And finally, we put our enabler is smart mobility and smart maintenance so that we are in the forefront of technology to ensure high effectiveness and efficiency. Over the last 40 years, we learned a lot in Hong Kong through our O&M experiences and also constructing new lines. And we accumulated experience and put them under a global operation standard of what we call the O&M 36 chambers and under 7 categories. And these are the insight and foresight that we learned from the various instances and also our new lines operations and constructions, greenfield and brownfield works, and how we manage our service deliveries and long delays. And this is a structured and systematic platform for us to interact and also train up our new business in other parts of the world. As you can see in the left-hand side photo, we now have footprints in both key mainland China cities in Beijing, Hangzhou, Shenzhen, and Macau, and also in Sydney and Melbourne, and also UK Elizabeth line. And we transport our learnings across through these chambers, through our expert panels, and so that when they open the new lines, we transfer all the MTR DNA across. Echoing with today's title about sustainable railway systems, we have 4 key foresight vectors to drive us forward. And the first is smart mobility, smart maintenance, and intelligent safety. And most importantly, go green and the ESG initiatives. Behind all this, we have different innovation and technology solutions to enable us to carry out our work that including smart sensors and data analytics, And we have a data studio and also innovation hubs to help our staff solve their pain point and streamline their processes. And because of time, I will just quickly go through you some of the examples on these 4 vectors. Safety always comes first. And in Hong Kong, our light rail system is still not a fully signalized system. So there's still a manual driving system. So in 2013, with an incident of a over speed at a curve due to manual driving. And after that, we put forward 4G and RFID technology, and we developed our own system that makes the light rail system now very intelligent to alert the train captain of overspeed, and turn out speed restrictions, and also the distance between LRV. And the accident rate has dropped significantly afterwards. And we got a patent for this for light rail retrofit. And for railway, as you know, the greatest challenge is external threat, like foreign vehicles or landslide. So we have introduced many measures like intrusion monitoring systems using video analytic and also LiDAR technology at those vulnerable locations where a car can come down or there will be a landslide, so that we can get an alert to our control centers. Similar to Jakarta, MRT, all the new lines get equipped with latest technology in rolling stock and also ATP signaling system. But remind one important thing: accidents always come under manual operations and human factors. So we put a lot of efforts in analyzing those above stop collisions or signal past danger. And what we've been working now hard is to use technology like SPED prevention, sensors and alert to the train captain under manual operations in depot or in the main line. And we also have systems to remind them to be fit at all times during manual operations. In metro, in on-traffic hours, especially in Hong Kong, we have only 2 hours golden window to carry out non-traffic hour maintenance work or asset renewal works. And we have been pushing forward a new initiative to help the staff to get access to track at the right time and get the right authority granted from OCC and go to the right place. Then you can see that apart from the apps of entering the gates, we also have a log to trace them getting out and lock the gate properly. And in version we are developing 2.0, we can track the location of the staff so that we can monitor whether they are working in the assigned location, and to also alert them if there are any trains moving near to them. And that helps a lot in implementing more measures that can widen our non-traffic hours window and also make it safer to work. In terms of the customer service, smart mobility. In the past, we always talk about moving passengers from point A to point B. Smart mobility aims at creating a seamless, digitalized, and personalized customer experience when they travel on a railway. And they can use different kinds of smart ticket, including our autobus, and also various kinds of QR code that they can even go to mainland China to use the same. And smart mobility aims our customer service staff can actually no longer need to stay inside a control center, and they can walk around and to serve our customers at the right location. And on the top right corner is a passenger information. And in this year, actually, we launched passenger loading, how packed or how many space left in each car. That really changed passengers' behavior, particularly at those interchange stations and congested stations. And we have various kinds of smart toilets and smart facilities ongoing, and also similar to your mobile apps, which our passengers like very much. Because our assets are already at 30 years, 40 years age, so we're embarking a very substantial asset replacement project, including replacement of trains, signaling system, even high voltage and low voltage equipment. That will be very challenging given that we're only 2 hours in the non-traffic hours. And then if you have more time, we have a more pleasure to share with you this experience in the next years for you to come. Yeah. Regarding how we maintain such a big asset and make sure that they are long-term sustainable. To be fair, keeping the asset and replacing them needs a lot of money. Yeah, and thanks for the railway and property model in Hong Kong, they give us a continuous source of funding from our shopping centers and also from property management. Otherwise, we cannot break even, to be frank. But still, we try to make use of different kinds of latest maintenance principles, such as predictive maintenance. We no longer just rely on a regular preventive maintenance or finding conditions. We look at the trends, anomalies, and heat map so that we can prevent the failures and act in advance. And also in the long run, we can optimize our maintenance strategy. Maybe let me quickly show you some examples of how we are doing that. And we have 12 lines, and we're almost finished installing this dynamic track conditioning monitoring system on our passenger train. That means every hours, we can monitor the conditions around the trip. And the benefit is that we can look at two things. What is the gauge? The dimension between the two views, whether there's any anomalies and which location has a certain offset that we can immediately understand and then send a technician there. And we can understand the vibration level at different sections of the track, and then we can enhance the ride comfort and also detect any early defects. On the overhead line side, we have two things. We have a track side camera and analytics, so that we can see all the trains passing through this intelligent camera, and we can detect any early failure defects of the pantographs. And for two trains, we equip them with a special camera that it can watch along the whole route, so that any special arcing that we can detect that in advance, and that would prevent any long delay. As you know, every track work has a defect, and we employ video analytics to capture the photographs and use artificial intelligence to screen the photos and pick up those that need immediate attention by the staff and in non-traffic hours. On the train side, we adopt a lot of automation and robotics to enhance our inspection regime of relays, axle, or the wheel assembly automation, and for cleaning of aircon and working inside a workshop. And also you can see a lot of cleansing robots inside our trains and also in the stations working 24 hours. And we make use of the data collected to make AI applications to optimize our train overhaul every 4 years. But now we can calculate to a very exact and optimized time so that we can reduce the cost to the minimum and make sure we can overhaul in the very last minute. And we use mobile phones for our maintainer to capture the records on site so that they don't need to repeat the records, and ensure that all the trains can be monitored properly. Finally, about ESG initiatives, we have a scientific target to meet by 2030. So we have planned to have some green station of solar panels and heating solar walls, etc. We're replacing our chillers with the high efficiency one. We are treating our waste, including our retired vehicles, and donate them to the society and the schools, and also recovery our track sleepers and ballast. And we have other facilities to engage the elderlies and also engage the community. So this is the way that we keep our cities and trains moving to serve our customers better while being sustainable. Very pleased to share with you further on various topics. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nelson, for the presentation. I think we're going to learn a lot. And I think some of the what MTR is doing is also can be implemented in MRT Jakarta. I would like to start the first discussion, the Q&A session. Ini pertanyaan akan ditujukan bagi Pak Effendi dan juga Mr. Nelson. Sudah ada banyak yang menulis pertanyaan sebenarnya. Nampaknya saya akan buka pertama kali dulu untuk Mr. Nelson. We already have a question for you. This is from Arif, Muhammad Arif. Muhammad Arif asking Mr. Nelson, what kind of signaling system that's been used in MTR Hong Kong, and how long does the minimum headway there in MTR Hong Kong, Mr. Nelson? Is my voice? Do you hear my voice clearly?
Yes, I can hear that
Okay.
clearly. Yeah.
So actually, it's two questions. So the first one is what kind of signaling systems that's been used in MTR Hong Kong, and how long the minimum headway?
Okay.
Okay.
That varies across the different history of the lines. In our oldest urban lines, we're using the SASM, which is a distance to go signaling system, track circuit based. In some of the newer lines, we use CBTC systems from various suppliers. And for some of the light rail, we use a very conventional semi full-scale track circuit systems for light rail. So we have different experience in different kinds of signaling system, and they all pose different challenges because of the different design from different suppliers. Yeah.
So which one is the hardest? I mean, like you mentioned about different challenges.
And I think for those signaling system of 30 years old, most of the parts have been obsolete. Yes, our asset strategy is to make sure that we have adequate knowledge to keep adequate spares, and also manage to repair the spares ourselves so that we can sustain the railway operating. And also need to work closely with the suppliers on the placing the last orders, and also alert about the spare obsolescence issue. And normally our asset life cycle for signaling is 20 years, but our practice is actually we can live up to 25 years by properly managing the assets and the spares.
Okay, 25 years. And the second questions, can you give us some kind of range about the minimum headway?
Oh, the minimum headway is about 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some busy lines actually we can achieve up to 106 seconds headway. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Required. Yeah.
And it's pretty stable. It's never been a change more than 2 minutes.
Oh yes, it's very stable. Yeah. Once we decided and put the dwell time correctly, and it runs very, very good and stable for over 10 to 20 years. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Nelson. Tadi jawabannya seperti itu kurang lebih, Bapak Arif. Tadi pertanyaannya sudah dijawab, 2 pertanyaan. Saya akan satu pertanyaan terlebih dahulu untuk Pak Effendi, and then there also another questions for Mr. Nelson. I hope you still have time for the discussion, if that's okay. Pertanyaan, thank you very much. Pertanyaannya untuk Pak Effendi. Pak Effendi, ini sebenarnya lebih ke kemajuan teknologi. Kalau tadi kita bisa belajar banyak dari MTR Hong Kong sebenarnya, tapi kan MRT juga sudah punya ada beberapa perubahan begitu, ada beberapa inovasi. Kalau bicara mengenai penerapan AI teknologi di aspek fasilitas, banyak yang kemudian memikirkan hanya sebatas tiketing saja. Ini dari Pak Bayi Haki. Pertanyaannya, terobosan seperti apa yang akan dilaksanakan oleh PT MRT Jakarta supaya bisa menikmati fasilitas-fasilitas prasarana MRT Jakarta. Mungkin ini lebih ke next plan ya Pak ya. Kalau tadi kan sudah ada DINA, sudah ada beberapa. Nah ini mungkin ada next plan yang bisa dibocorkan kepada kami.
Oke, mungkin langsung saya jawab. Itu memang saya nggak share karena akan disampaikan oleh Kepala Divisi Railway Maintenance. Nanti
Okay.
quite similar with the MTR Hong Kong facility. So sabar aja Pak Bayaki, nanti akan disampaikan oleh Pak Panji. Terima kasih.
Jadi ini teaser ya Pak ya, Pak Effendi ya. So MRT Jakarta also have something to share about the AI technology that I think it's going to be great for maintaining the society needs in MRT Jakarta. So I think the next question will also be going to Mr. Nelson again. Mr. Nelson, this is from Rizky Sendila. Rizky said, we're really amazed with the idea of dynamic condition monitoring system in terms of the LCC. How big does the impact this idea give to your work? Thank you in advance.
Okay, thanks for the good question. I suppose you are referring to the track dynamic condition monitoring system, right? The track.
Yeah. I think he refers to that.
it really makes a big difference to the way that we managed our track work. Because conventionally, we just used to have a patrolman and also measurements on site and also a track geometry vehicle, etc. But they only carry out the inspection a few days for the patrolman. And for the inspection vehicle, they can only afford to come every 2 months or 3 months to have a very detailed inspection check. But now we have the instrumented vehicles on revenue train. We can monitor the conditions almost every hour. That means we can understand the change dynamically at different locations. And then we can react immediately in the coming non-traffic hours. Our staff like that and don't like that because they have more jobs to do compared with before. But the good thing is that they can get a quicker response to those impending defects so that they can correct them earlier and prevent them become a broken rail. And the statistics reflect the results. And our rail defects and broken rails figures has dropped in the last 2 years after we progressively implement this system. So as a whole, the health condition of the overall track work will be much enhanced. Yeah.
And also, I think it's also related questions. This is from Pradipta, Mr. Nelson. You mentioned about the pantograph monitoring, the track detector, just like you mentioned, it helps a lot. But do you think that it also can be implemented in MRT Jakarta? Do you think that MRT Jakarta is ready to do the same way and to, you know, implement the same technology? Does it needs, I don't know, more cost, or how can MRT Jakarta be prepared for this kind of technology?
In comparison, the pantograph monitoring system is more matured with many products available from the market, especially from mainland China, which is very cost effective. I recommend existing railway to try that. You try to find the line with the highest speed that will benefit more, and that can be retrofit. That's why it's so flexible to accustom to your need. But you need to tailor for your speed and your track geometry and on the change. So you need sometimes at least 1 year to set up a system. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think 1 year will be enough?
Yeah, it should be enough for one line. For one line, yeah.
Oh, for one line. Okay. Okay, I think Mr. Afandis already take notes for the things that Mr. Nelson just mentioned. Okay, one more questions for Mr. Nelson. Bapak dan Ibu, saya mohon pengertiannya karena waktunya Mr. Nelson terbatas, jadi saya akan bacakan terlebih dahulu pertanyaan untuk Mr. Nelson. Pak Effendi, saya mohon untuk harap maklum. I would like to prioritize the questions for Mr. Nelson. And then, okay, so next question is from Lina Nur Fadilah. It is also for Mr. Nelson. Okay, the question is, Lina says, I am interested in the information about the display which share information about car space / capacity, yes, so that passenger will move to the other car which not fully loaded. Does it interlock to the dashboard of the train while stop in every station, or does it auto-controlled by the OCC monitor?
I see. This is a good question. Actually, how can we do that? We measure every car with the airbag with a pressure. We monitor the change in the pressure, which are corresponding to the number of passengers on that train. And so the information is passed to the passenger information display at every platform. And also we centralize the information for all trains and send it to our mobile apps. So in the MTR mobile, you can also see on the upcoming train, what is the loading on the train, so that you can move also in advance to the relevant car to board the train. Yeah. So it's both a mobile phone and also in the platform, the display. Yeah.
Okay, so the notification will also show in your mobile app, so the passenger will know when is exactly time to move to another car.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The next question. Okay, I'm gonna screen it fast. Just wait a moment. Okay. Okay, so Mr. Nelson, I think you also have observed what the MRT Jakarta is now doing. What do you think is the most challenging? What is the most challenging phase for MRT Jakarta right now?
I would say it's the expansion part, including like the north-south line that you are extending to the new lines. It's normally the interface between the existing railway and the new extension is the most difficult and challenging part during the project works. The new part is the green, but then when the green touches the ground, brown field works, the nighttime signaling system work and the train testing for a full line testing during linkage needs very detailed planning and needs to review the risk during the whole process in order to not to disturb and affect the operating railway.
Okay. What about the initiative that MTR Hong Kong has been doing to, involve community from outside, like, if I'm not mistaken, NGO, the Society Link to gather in MTR area. Can you share more detail about what actually been done and what kind of impact for the company itself?
And we set up the Society Link as a society that contains all the various NGO, the non-government organizations, like the voluntary organizations, like the schools, and like the universities. And normally they hit the top guys join our regular seminar every around 2 to 3 months. We let them know what's happening for the railway, what our latest project and changes, our challenges, how we have a new latest app, energy saving and customers enhancement. And they would provide us feedback. And we'll take them to the site to look at the new things that the public has not seen. And they are very amazed. And that they become our advisor to a certain extent on when we put up some new thinkings, give us some feedback. And in the same way,
feedbacks and critics, I suppose.
Relationship, yeah.
yeah. But I think that's where we can learn and find a solution for that. There's also another question from Mr. Nelson. I hope you still have time. This is from Putri Hapsari. The question is, what are the critical things that required in building the intelligence safety?
This is a long answer, yeah, because basically safety is our most important things in MTR, and a lot of initiative behind that over the years. And I think the most important is to first identify the risk areas, which are the top risks, and then you start looking at your mitigation measures. Normally it's by procedures and checking and training. But what we can do extra is by the technology to further lower the risk in order to eliminate the occurrence. And this is our determination that push us to try new ideas and technology to mitigate the risk. And I think you can learn a lot from COMET or UITB on how others are doing and pushing forward new ideas to make the procedures become more robust and checking more robust. But I think the most important is to engage the staff, understand the procedures and practice, and so that and understand the actually operating scenarios, and then you can find the right solution and right technology to help them. And of course, you need a good team of young talents and engineers to produce the smart solutions and help from external suppliers, university as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Nelson. I think that is the perfect closure for our session today. I think what you've been sharing with us about what the MTR Hong Kong has been doing, and also you mentioned that MRT Jakarta can implement some of the things that MTR Hong Kong has been doing for several past years, but we need to look closer for the details. We need to prepare more things. I think it's going to be 1 year to prepare and to see if it's going to be another innovation for MRT Jakarta. Thank you for your time. Mr. Nelson. It's an honor for us to have you here today, and have a great day. Have a great day for the rest.
My honor.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I hope you're drinking for the rest of the day, and I hope you will see next time on the next webinar. Thank you very much, Mr. Nelson.
Thank you,
so
Mr.
much.
Nelson.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson.
Please pass my best regard to Adilau. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Pak Effendi, bagaimana kalau kita simpan pertanyaan untuk Pak Effendi karena banyak sekali ini, tapi di sesi tanya jawab yang kedua boleh ya Pak Effendi ya?
Boleh, setuju.
Boleh ya?
Mr. Nelson dulu yang diutamakan. Saya
Biar
setuju.
nanti supaya lengkap, karena saya yakin ada beberapa yang sebenarnya bisa dijawab oleh pemaparan dari Pak Panji nanti, jadi supaya tidak mengulang, siapa tahu terjawab, jadi diskusinya akan lebih advance nanti ya di sesi yang kedua setelah kita mendengarkan seluruh pembicara memberikan pemaparannya. Sepakat ya? Saya mohon pengertiannya juga untuk para peserta yang sudah menuliskan pertanyaan. Saya mohon kerjasamanya, saya mohon harap maklum. Kita akan simpan pertanyaannya, akan dikurasi. Nanti akan saya bacakan di sesi pertanyaan kedua setelah semua pembicara selesai menyampaikan materi masing-masing. So I would like to move on. Right now, saya akan mengundang Pak Panji, speaker kita berikutnya, untuk berbagi pemaparan pada pagi hari ini. Selamat pagi, Mas Panji.
Selamat pagi, Mbak Anissa.
Sebagai Kepala Divisi Renewal Maintenance nih Pak, sebenarnya tadi sudah ada beberapa pertanyaan yang kalau kata Pak Effendi bocor tipis-tipis nih, nanti jawabannya ada di slides-nya Mas Panji nih. Tapi saya yakin pasti ini isinya mengenai terobosan-terobosan improvisasi yang sudah dilakukan oleh MRT Jakarta, khususnya soal digitalisasi railway maintenance. Silakan, waktunya 10 menit, saya akan ingatkan nanti sisa 3 menit lagi.
Oke, Mbak Anissa, terima kasih. Thank you for participants. Thank you for Pak Dirjen Usman Kasong, Pak Dirut, Pak Effendi, and the distinguished speaker. Please allow me to introduce my name. My name is Panji, and now I'm a maintenance division of MRT Jakarta. Today, I would like to deliver and discuss about transforming railway maintenance into 4.0 digitalization in metro system. Let's move on. So this is today's content that we would like to discuss. There are 4 topics. First, we would like to discuss about MRT Jakarta overview. Second is railway maintenance divisions overview, and then the third is our step towards world-class maintenance. The fourth is railway maintenance 4.0 that we already have now. Move on. Next. So Jakarta and its challenges. As we know that Jakarta is one of the most traffic congested city in the world, and then the estimated economic loss is all about $5 billion a year. So you can imagine that we have a loss because of traffic congested. So that's why we are here. We are established MRT Jakarta to answering these challenges. Next. So we have 3 mandates, as our President Director already mentioned before. First, we have to develop the infrastructure. We are doing on the right track to do until the phase 4, and then now we are doing the operation maintenance. And now what the third is we have to do business and transit oriented development. Next. So we talk about the railway maintenance division of MRT Jakarta. So there are 189 our organic manpowers. Our total vendor is all about 23. Our total manpower outsourcing more than 300. Under me, there are 7 department heads. One is advisor. So as maybe for your info that all of us is under 35. Maybe only 10 or 15% above 35. The rest is under 35. So you can imagine we still have a big energy as a young engineer to do this task job to maintain the MRT Jakarta asset. Next. So this is our roadmap to become the world-class maintenance from the 2019 until the 2030. We have already put our milestones. So we in the first 2 years we are learning data gathering, and then the last year 2021 we are doing the world-class maintenance 4.0, and then by this year and next year we are trying to have a maintenance maturity. And then 2024, 2025, we would like to expanding and monetize, as Mr. Effendi said before. We would like to be the shadow operator for any other metro in Indonesia or in Asia. And then in 2026 until 2023, we can be a regional champion as the maintenance center excellence in ASEAN. So next, this is our goals. We would like to be the world-class operator, to deliver high standard railway operator, and then we would like to expanding project business, not only an operation project maintenance business, not only Indonesia but outside Indonesia, and then we trying to becoming shadow operator in Indonesia, as we already did do it now. We have LRT Palembang now to support LRT Palembang, and then next. This is our asset that have to be maintained. We have 7 elevated stations, 6 underground stations, and then 1 receiving substation. Our asset value is all about $1 billion. Next. This is our MRT specification. Maybe some of you already well known about this. We have 16 transits, and then the traveling time is about 30 until 28 minutes. The electricity is 1,500 volt DC, and its transit we have 6 cars. And our train operation is GOA2 CBTC system. Next. And then towards world-class maintenance, as Mr. Nelson already mentioned before, now we are trying on the to reach this world-class maintenance. We are trying to implement RCM. Now, as we know about the maintenance, we have every step, such as the reactive, preventive, and predictive. Now we are trying to move on until the proactive, and then we are trying to do the AI data analytics system that already implemented by MTR Hong Kong. Next. And then in MRT Jakarta, we are on the way to get the asset management system. Now in the we already study and conducting the study about this. We are already in the phase 3 set and direct build alignment. In the maybe next year, lately we can have like a ISO 55000 certification asset management system. Next. And then we move on to the railway maintenance 4.0. This is what we already have in MRT Jakarta, to answering, to overcoming all issues or challenges, and to be more effective and efficient. So our main system is we using ERP system, SAP for the infrastructure and Maximo. And then there are several applications, digitalization, that developed by our own MRT Jakarta engineer and help support by the third party. Let's move on. So this is for the ERP, enterprise resource planning. Mostly we use SAP plan maintenance. We use for the infrastructure, and then for the Maximo, for the rolling, we use for the rolling stock. So with this system, we are trying to get works to be more safer, more efficient, and more effective, because we can have like end-to-end business from the planning until the execution. Next. And then we use our technology for the station, as we know that our station is very new, have a high latest technology. So every station in MRT Jakarta is a self-autonomous stations. It's already controlled by the system, and every, such as the lighting, the water. So we can have a more efficient water conservation system. And then all the station is controlled by one system known as SCADA. It's controlled from the operation control system, operation control center in Depot Lebak Bulus. So it means the human is doing nothing. They just monitoring all the system. If there are some alarm or some failure, there will be alarm that will be checked by the maintenance team.
Pak Panji, mohon izin mengingatkan 2 menit lagi ya Pak ya waktunya.
And then about the LPP, what is LPP? Maybe I will tell about LPP is like a system for the maintenance team to work after the operation time. So we have to control, to monitor all the maintenance activities in the mainline after the operation time. Because as you know that in railway industry, there are 3 big accidents, and one of the thing is hit by the train. So we have to control the maintenance activities in the night, and then we make it the real-time work plan for the line position permit. So everybody can know after the operation time, they can check, they can know who work at that mainland with the real time. Next. And then we have another things to do is a DIGIMON. We call it DIGIMON, Digitalized Maintenance Monitoring. Before we have a manual checking paper-based, and after that we use apps to do that manual inspections with paperless, so we can have a data collecting, data gathering, so we don't need to collect any paper again. Next. And then the next is about fire extinguisher checking integration. We have almost 1,000 fire extinguisher in MRT Jakarta. So to ensure the reliability and then good condition and ready to use, we have a online system checking with a barcode, so everybody can know the expired, and then the maintenance team can have a early warning system if there are some fire extinguisher have to refill. Next. And then the last is MRT tool assistant. As maintenance team, of course, we have to maintain our tool sets, our special tools. So that's why we established the system MRT tools assistant, this digital apps. So we can know the broken tools or the tools being borrowed or the tools usage history. Everybody can know, everybody can read the history of the usage of the tools. Next. And then the tunnel monitoring. This is our technology that we use to monitor the structural health of MRT Jakarta. Now we are already installed in a tunnel. Next year we would like to, by this year or next year, we would like to install at the bridge that we have at Fatmawati. So we can now very clearly monitor real time what happened to our structure when there are some earthquakes. So everybody will be very safe, and we can ensure the safety of our passengers. Next. And then the last, this is the last, we talk about the Shunting Plan. So as the railway industry, in the depot MRT, every day there are more than 30 or 50 train movement at depot. That's a very huge number. So if there are no control or monitor, it will cause incident or accident. So that's why we have like applications, Shunting Plan, so everybody, the related party can know, can understand what kind of train, the schedule of the train movement at depot. So if somebody or someone to works at the depot, they can aware what train will be passing at that place. And then for the monitoring heavy maintenance, we already do it for the first transit. Last 2 months ago, we finished using the Microsoft project. So all the heavy maintenance monitor the Microsoft project. We can know the real-time actual progress for the heavy maintenance, the critical path, so we can do the job more efficient and effective. Next. And this is the dynamic trend sensor, maybe almost the same like in MTR Hong Kong. We have 3 transit installed by this system. It monitors the passenger the track conditions to ensure our passenger comfortness being kept passenger comfortness good for the passengers safety. Next. And this is the last my closing statement. MRT Jakarta is more than just a piece of infrastructure. MRT Jakarta has also shaped a new urban community character and culture. We have helped to curtail traffic congestion, reduce air pollution, and improve people's quality of life and welfare. And the last for my closing statement that please people in Indonesia, Jakarta, support us to do the best things to do so we can have a high standard and we can compete with the MTR Hong Kong as we well known as the world class operator not only in Indonesia but only in not only in Indonesia but also in Asia. And then our next target is we could be the shadow operator in the outside region of Indonesia. Thank you. That's my presentations. Hope you can have a beneficial insight from me. Thank you.
Terima kasih Bapak Haji. As one of the users, all my prayers are for MRT Jakarta ya. Semoga memang terus meningkat begitu. Terima kasih untuk paparannya mengenai improving digitalization's railway maintenance in metro system. I would also like to continue with the next presentation. It will be by Miss Kazue Yasuoka.